watch out behind you, Paul.
Okay, so,
there you go. Sorry about that.
We have some hardware, there's some of the hooks. There's some hardware, there's a lot of the bar. There's a lot of stuff here. That's not the layout. And in the front of the car, we have a series of radiators. That's actually why the car has a distinctive look. It's actually the fuel cell. Fuel cells operate more efficiently than gasoline engines, but the heat is lost to the environment through the radiator rather than through the exhaust tailpipe. And it's also operating at a much lower temperature than the gasoline engine operates at. So we don't have the luxury of a hot exhaust pipe that we can use to waste the heat from the system. So we have to use it with a series of radiators that are in the front. And that's why the front looks like the way it does.
Basically, it's the most abundant element in the universe. For 71% of our universe is hydrogen. Here on Earth, you see that hydrogen comes from water. Water covers more than 70% of the U.S., the world, and you can see that it's also in a lot of other things. So we're going to be talking about that. So one of the things that we are faced with in terms of our go-to-market strategy for the Mirai is that it's not business as usual for us. We're going to be doing things totally different than what we have done with any of our other vehicle launches. With our traditional launch, it's relatively simple. You know, we do a lot of advertising and using a variety of to create awareness. It drives consideration, and then eventually it drives purchase intent. With the fuel cell category, well, first of all, there isn't a fuel cell category. It doesn't exist. So we're already at a disadvantage because now we have to, you know, basically go out there and educate people and build, you know, this step by step to get people aware of why this is such a great solution for the future, for all of us on this planet and who wants to make a difference. So we're going to have to do everything totally different, which is why you know, the focus is all going to be on education. And you'll see in the next few slides how what we're doing in terms of our go-to-market strategy to educate, you know, both people that are really interested in fuel cells and people that, you know, are really not interested in fuel cells. But we want to make sure everyone's educated why this is such a great solution and drive sales on this vehicle and sustain those sales after launch. So in order to do that job, we had to do things a lot different than we've done in the past. And we actually had to create a unique look and feel to this campaign. It has to break through all the clutter out there. It has to be impactful and so on. So we identified that we needed a unique platform identity and create a call to action. And once again, the turning point. You're going to see that a lot on, in the future as we go to market here. Leave your mark by leaving no mark at all, because the fuel cell basically produces no emissions other than water. So we had to target our target buyer. Our target buyer is going to be in their 50s, predominantly male, affluent, into science and technology, predominantly. Not to say that there's no women out there that are also interested in this vehicle, because there's a lot of women who are. But that's kind of what we found. So the look and feel of all of our advertising is going to support this new vehicle, this futuristic looking vehicle, so that we can break through the clutter. We even took the time to really think about this iconic branding, which we call the mark. And you can see this thing, you can see it in the center there. That's our unique mark, the turning point symbol, if you will. And what that represents is three things that are coming together. And all of us, you probably remember being in, you know, high school chemistry class, and you're learning about the periodic table of elements, and the first one is hydrogen. And you see that there's the map of the hydrogen atom where you got a nucleus and you got an electron revolving. Well, it kind of looks like that. So we wanted to incorporate that idea. Where can you get your fuel cell, and basically why Toyota is getting involved and why that matters. Then we move into phase 4, and this is the consumer experience. This is where we're getting closer to launch. This is June, July timing, if you will. We're going to be taking pre-orders versus pre-orders on a website, if you will, for the early adopters and the hand raisers that are really interested in this. We'll be releasing information on how the process actually works, how Toyota will take care of customers after they become owners of the vehicle, and you'll hear a lot more about this 360 ownership experience. And I'll have another slide on what is the 360 ownership experience. And then we'll have various events with ride and drive, so people that are interested in purchasing one of these and being the first on their block to have one, to actually go and demonstrate it. And we're going to actually focus on telling stories of what it's like to actually own a fuel cell, a Mirai fuel cell, and what it's like to wake up in the morning, get in your car, and live your life, and do it in a way that makes a difference in the world, and is totally sustainable. So you're going to see more of that coming up in June, July. And then one other comment on this 360 ownership experience. Now, a lot of these details are going to be fleshed out in the next few months, and we're going to have more details, if you will. But basically, this is what Bill Fay announced last November. Basically, a 360 ownership experience with 24/7 concierge service with dedicated Mirai representatives. And that's very important. So if there is any concerns from any of those Mirai customers, there'll be a number to call in to get assistance. 24-hour enhanced roadside assistance. And once again, we'll review the details of what that includes. But it's going to be a very comprehensive package. 3 years of Toyota Care maintenance included. 8 years, 100,000-mile warranty on all the fuel cell components. 3 years of complimentary Safety Connect and Entune. And that's important because built into our Entune app is this hydrogen station map app, which tells everyone where the hydrogen stations are and whether or not they're operating. So it's a key feature that we're going to include in our and we're also going to reward these early adopters. The first ones buying this vehicle will receive a complimentary hydrogen fuel package. And once again, we'll have more details on that package that will announce shortly as develop them. And then finally, launch is in October of 2015. So these vehicles, it's not just a dream that we're never going to fulfill. These are actual vehicles that will go on sale, and you'll see them on the road beginning October 15. And one of the things that we're focused on in this stage is basically to build that community of the early adopters, the people that are really focused on making a difference in the world, and building a community with these folks, and convert them from drivers to advocates for us. We're once again going to continue with our driver-focused events. We're going to engage our dealers from taking the waitlist customers to actually taking walk-in customers, and we're going to reward our early adopters. So once again, lots of messages in the advertising world, and we have to do something to break through all that clutter. So our creative has to be impactful. It's got to break through. So we're going to have this campaign called Fueled by Everything. And what we're talking about here is short edutainment. That's a new word, right? Everybody hear that one? Edutainment films. And basically what these are is they're short films that are both educational and will entertain you as well. We're going to focus on the hydrogen effort, where the hydrogen comes from, and how there's hydrogen in virtually everything, and how the current processes set up to extract that hydrogen from all different types of things, if you will, and then ultimately how that fuel can be utilized to drive you down the road. So once again, that will be coming up here shortly. Also, we're going to set up a consumer communication forum, if you will. And this is basically we call it a medium for agnostic content. So basically, a lot of stuff trending on the social media, good and bad. We're going to have people that really support this effort, and are very thankful for everything that Toyota is doing. And we're going to have people that don't like us. They don't think this is the direction that we're going to go in. You know, they're concerned about, you know, the safety or whatever, the fuel or whatever it is. But what we're going to do here is we're going to be able to evaluate what is trending, and we're going to be able to modify the campaign, if you will, to come up with anything that, you know, can basically communicate the truth. There's going to be a lot of things that are said about this that are just not going to be true. But our job is to find out what are being said, you know, about our vehicle and what it is. And, you know, if it's not true, we will set the stage right. So that's what we're going to do. We'll have content aggregators. And once again, we'll be feeding information out there. We'll be looking at what is posted. We'll have a conversation site to fuel that conversation. We'll have social posts. Once again, we're going to be tweeting and getting the message out there and just monitoring every concern that anyone has, and basically trying to overcome their issues, to put their minds at ease, to kind of let everybody know that this is the way of the future. It's very safe, it's very reliable, and it's totally sustainable. And those people that truly want to make a difference in the world, get us off the dependence of foreign oil and everything else, this is the direction that we want to go in for the future. So what is the offer? How much does this thing cost? So we've already announced the pricing on the Mirai. It's $57,500 if you want to buy it, and it comes with a $5,000 rebate from the state of California. And if you lease it, the terms are $499 a month with $36.49 down for 3 years. That also, we believe, gets the California rebate of the state, and it gets you in the carpool. So you can see, I'll get the white sticker that's in the left corner of the screen, and that's going to be a big plus. Anybody that's been traveling up and down our roads know that you get a vehicle that gets you in the carpooling, it's worth something. So that basically takes care of our go-to-market strategy on the retail and the lease side for individual customers. Now, I really want to take the time to talk about some of the things that we've been doing on the commercial and government side, because this is a vehicle, we are going to be launching this in sync with what we're doing on the retail side. So whether it's an individual or a corporation or a company that has a fleet of vehicles, or a government entity that has a fleet of vehicles, we're going to be able to launch together. And what is nice about our government and commercial strategy is that it's fully customized. We can work with the companies, the government agencies, to really assess their needs and come up with a customized solution for them. So for example, if we have one of these entities that have a need to buy 500 vehicles, but it requires them to have their own infrastructure, fueling infrastructure for hydrogen, we want to have that conversation with them, and we want to begin that conversation so that we can not only support their needs, but we can build out this infrastructure to grow this sales effort. So we're doing all of these things. In fact, we've had numerous events targeted to some of our key customers, both in government and in commercial world, where we've had these private exclusive events. We've had them at the New York Auto Show. We've had them at our Toyota Arizona Proving Grounds, where we invited them out and had the opportunity to where they could get behind the wheel of the fuel cell, Mirai fuel cell, drive the vehicle, experience it firsthand, answer the questions that they have, put all their concerns, to rest so that we can turn them into early adopters and our first customers. So we've been doing a lot of it. We've had another event at Limelock racetrack, and very favorable, very positive, and we're going to continue the summer. We're having another event down in Laguna Niguel in June, and we'll have the opportunity to get our commercial customers behind the wheel and actually drive a Mirai. So we're doing a lot of that, and all of this comes together to support the needs of our customers, and particularly the commercial customers, government customers that want to make a difference, have that strategic effort, and helps us blow out our hydrogen infrastructure as well. So with that, I wanted to turn it over to Akio Toyota, who has another message.
All of us at Toyota believe in a future that will be safer, greener, and easier for everyone. We believe that behind the wheel of the Mirai, we can go places we have never been, to a world that is better, in a car that is better. For us, this isn't just another car. This is an opportunity to really make a difference. And making a difference is what Toyota is all about. The future has arrived, and it's called Mirai.
So that is the turning point. So before I introduce Matt McClure, who's our manager of fuel cell, the fuel cell vehicle group for Toyota, we'll take you through all the technical presentation on this vehicle and actually do the walk around on the parking lot. I wanted to take the time now to answer any questions that you have with any of the information on our go-to-market strategy. So we have a microphone over here. And like I said, I'll do my best to answer all of those questions that you have, as long as it's not revealing something that we haven't revealed yet. Okay.
So what do you expect the mix to be between fleet and retail?
We really don't know until we get more information. But it may be a 25-75% mix, and it may be 25% fleet, 75% retail. But we really don't know. So we have the flexibility to change that if we need to, but really the market is going to dictate that percentage.
And what kind of volumes are you expecting overall?
Yeah, so initially we're expecting some very low volumes, like the rest of this year. We're going to launch in October, and through the end of this year, we're thinking maybe 200 vehicles. But by the end of 2017, we're forecasting around 3,000.
30,000 or
3,000. And once again, that's just our best guess at this point. A lot will be dependent on the development of the infrastructure. And that's kind of the limiter. But this is kind of our best guess based on the rollout of the infrastructure and where we think our sales will be.
Zoran Segina from LA Car, the guy in the dark glasses because he forgot his regular glasses. You are pumping hydrogen that has extremely low temperature at a pressure of 70 megapascals, which is awful lot of pounds per square inch.
10,000.
10,000 pounds per square inch. If something happens to this tank, which inevitably would happen no matter how well you build it, it will be literally a cold night in hell after this whole thing leaked out with a full tank, because I understand that when hydrogen evaporates, actually freezes everything around. Am I correct on the technical part?
So I'm going to turn that over to our resident expert here, Matt, who can answer that question.
You're good. Okay, so the question was regarding the temperature. First of all, this is ambient temperature hydrogen. It's not liquid hydrogen. It's gaseous. So when it goes in the vehicle, the rate that we can put it in the vehicle. So when we talk about a 3-minute fill, means we we are delivering into the vehicle at around minus 40 degrees Celsius. Minus 40 degrees Celsius is still gas. That's actually the crossover point between minus 40 C and minus 40 Fahrenheit. As far as the structure of the tanks, I mean, the tanks are built stronger than the car. And I kind of consider them as being rocks in a soda can, if you want to think of a soda can being the formable structure of the car. We design them not to rupture, but if they do rupture, there's actually a global technical regulation, the size of the rupture that's allowed. And so it's not supposed to come apart into an explosion, it's just supposed to leak hydrogen. And so we have to design the tanks to meet that, and we typically, always within Toyota practice, we design them to exceed the global technical regulations that are adopted by each country. So one of the biggest things is that when a hydrogen does leak, it leaks upward, it's very difficult to contain a flammable mixture of hydrogen. And that's really one of the big benefits when we compare bonfire testing between gasoline vehicles and hydrogen vehicles, where we intentionally make it make the tank leak hydrogen. It doesn't cause a fire that engulfs the vehicle. Basically, the hydrogen is exhausted from the area. It's consumed if there's any fire that's there, and then it goes away. It becomes a non-issue. Whereas a gasoline leak is an event that actually eventually will engulf the car.
And this is kind of an example of what I was showing with our go-to-market strategy is we're going to have to, answer all of these questions to make sure that everybody knows how safe this vehicle is. And we'll be illustrating a lot of this. There is a lot of confusion out there. They think it's liquid hydrogen on the vehicle. No, it's under 10,000 PSI. And so there's a lot of things that will be revealed as we go forward from now until October. Yes. She's got the microphone. She's got the next question. Yes.
I'm Alicia Webb. I write for a number of publications. But today, let's say I'm asking you for my blog, ChinaEV.org. So my first question is, how much energy does it take to create and then to store hydrogen? That's question number one. And my second question is, your social media campaign, it seemed like what you want to do is to, obviously limit false information getting out there. But on the other hand, it kind of came off as sounding like we're going to control the conversation. Do you think that's going to be hard? Do you think there's going to be pushback from the blogosphere and the social media sphere if Toyota is injecting itself into the conversation too much?
Well, I'm going to answer the second question. The first question, I'll defer once again to my engineer expert over here, Dan McClure. The second part is, we know that there's a lot of concern, a lot of, angst over hydrogen and how safe it is and so on. We want to know what people are saying. And we're not there perhaps to control that conversation, but we're there to, basically present the facts and clear up, any misconceptions that are out there. So, it's very important for us to understand what's being said about us, and then basically address what, anything that's inaccurate. And that's kind of the purpose of that. We're not there to control the conversation or move it, but we're there to manage it and dispel anything that is just simply not true. Matt?
If I can have you maybe wait for my presentation, I can go into some of the efficiency aspects of production of hydrogen.
Yeah, a lot of the technical information will be addressed by Matt, and that's the purpose of his presentation, is really to focus on a lot of the technical issues and concerns and provide answers to those questions.
Hi, Michael Goldstein, American Magazine. Very impressive presentation. I did have a question about the demographics that you brought up, male, 50s, interested in science and technology, I assume relatively comfortable income, probably.
Yes, well,
to me, that kind of says Tesla, okay? How are you going to convince people that they should, try a Mirai instead of a Tesla?
I think a lot of that is on education. I mean, these are very, very highly intelligent people. They have the income to buy whatever car they want. They want the latest and greatest. They are people that want to make a difference in the world. So I think it's, once again, when they hear about some of the features of the Mirai and the range that you can take this vehicle, you can fill it up in 5 minutes or less. It can go 300 miles. It's going to appeal to some of those buyers that are driving other vehicles right now that are going to make decisions to say, you know what, this does what I want it to do, and it does represent what I want in my life, and that's drive a sustainable vehicle that is going to be making a difference, and it's at a price that's a lot less. So I think that a lot of those things will play out as we go to launch and we introduce this technology, as we continue our process of getting the truth out there and the education. I think it'll take care of a lot of these issues, and you'll actually see people making decisions as to what vehicle they want to drive on their own. Yes?
Hi, I'm Kim Phipps. I'm from vroomgirls.com. Hi, and a couple of questions I wanted to ask here. One thing that you speak about is that obviously hydrogen's very abundant, and that makes sense that the car would be using hydrogen. But obviously there obviously is a lot of things involved between getting hydrogen from the air and ocean, processing it and getting it into the car. Obviously it's not like pulling fossil fuels from the planet to make that happen, but at this point, where is the majority of the hydrogen coming from? Is it from the biomass, from water? Is it a myriad of things? So like, where's the next, if this were to become standard operation in 10, 20 years, what elements are we going to be pulling from to get this hydrogen?
Yeah. So in our campaign, we're going to talk about where hydrogen can come from. And there's a whole other space that is being developed, and that's the hydrogen. You can generate hydrogen from a variety of sources. You can do it from the reforming natural gas. You can do it from biomass decomposition, extracting the hydrogen, or electrolysis for water. Those are the three main ways to get hydrogen right now. And what we're going to do with that piece, when we're talking about the edutainment piece, is explain how we can derive all that. Right now in the U.S., most of the industrial hydrogen comes from the reformation of natural gas. That's right now. But what we're pointing out is technology is developing, and these other ways of developing hydrogen will continue to advance. And when you can use wind and solar to power the electricity needed to do electrolysis. So when you think about the ways that you can extract hydrogen from water using solar or wind, it's totally sustainable. It just doesn't exist today. So just like the whole hydrogen infrastructure is in the process of the whole process of catfish are jumping that paddle. So that's what we're doing.
Well, I built me her raft and she's ready for flow. Oh, Mississippi, she's calling my name. Catfish are jumping that paddle.